Today, we're ranking the top 5 sports events in the past decade by food and drink impact. And we're doing it with one strict rule: no ticket sales, no lodging. Only numbers of food and beverages in its own category. If an event doesn't publish clean F&B data, then it's out. Which means the most famous events on earth might not make the list. Not because they're small, but because their data is messy. So, what actually makes the list? One entry is cricket. And number one is a tournament that most people don't associate with massive catering. So without further ado, let's get started. We begin with the smaller, but still massive player to establish the scale of this economy. At number 5, we have the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 Barbados. Cricket doesn't always get the global respect it deserves, but economically, it's a beast. According to a Nielsen Sport Economic Impact Report, the T20 World Cup generated $22.9 million in food and beverages sales alone. This is food and drink tied directly to the event footprint, not the wider tourism impact. This shows the power of short, high turnover matches, packed crowds, quick breaks, and high volume consumption. Cricket fans don't just watch, they consume. This is a model for maximizing revenue in a compact time frame. At number 4, we have the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 United States. It was the same tournament, but different market, and a much bigger result. In the United States, the Nielsen reports a staggering $52.9 million in food and beverage sales linked to the T20 World Cup. This is remarkable for a sport still considered niche in the USA. It proves you don't need cultural dominance to build a food economy. You need a captive audience, time, and repetition. The food economy is often the first to explode when new sports enter a market, showing immediate, measurable economic impact. At number 3, we have the Paris Olympic Games. The Olympics feed more people than almost any event on earth. For Paris 2024, the official catering partner, Sodexo, expected 60 million euros in revenue, which converts to roughly $6.49 million. This number is just the official catering contract. It doesn't include spectator concessions. This is food for the athletes, staff, volunteers, and media. It is one of the largest, most complex, and most controlled catering operations ever assembled. The Olympics are logistical masterclasses in feeding a temporary city, where the food is utility and not just a concession. Okay, we've seen the build-up, but now we're getting into the true heavyweights. The next event is a perfect example of how fan culture translates directly into food and beverage revenue. At number 2, we have the Rugby World Cup 2023, France. Rugby fans are famous for 2 things: loyalty and drinking capacity. The official Rugby World Cup Impact Report breaks out a dedicated category called catering, and the figures there are remarkable. 85 million euros, or roughly $9.129 million. This is food and beverage tied directly to the tournament's footprint across France. This is a multi-week, alcohol-heavy, deep culture event. The fans arrive early, they stay late, and they treat the stadium as a social club. Rugby quietly becomes one of the most powerful food events in global sports because its fan base is primed for high volume, sustained consumption. This is our second best point, and it sets the stage for the true champion. We have reached the top. The event that, by numbers, is the single largest, best documented food and beverage sports economy on our list for the past decade is the UEFA Euro 2016, France. This one surprised a lot of people. According to the same impact report framework, UEFA Euro 2016 generated 88 million euros in catering, which equals roughly 95.2 million US dollars. It only beat the Rugby World Cup by a few million, but it did so through a perfect storm of factors. Why it wins? Multiple week duration, massive international attendance, centralized fan zones, and an alcohol-forward consumption culture. It is a logistical and cultural machine. The Euro 2016 is the blueprint for how to turn a sports tournament into a food and beverage powerhouse. It is not the loudest event, but by numbers, it is the most efficient. Now let's address the elephant in the room one last time. The FIFA World Cup, Formula One, and the Super Bowl are not on the list because they don't have separate data. In the documents we were able to peruse, food is bundled with hotels, tourism, transport, and sponsorships. There is no independent F&B data, and if you're like me, we refuse to guess. Some of you might be thinking, how do I know this is true? How do I know that the numbers are real? And how do I get the full breakdown, including those tournament events which probably dominate in real life? We have laid it all out, our entire methodology, in our Farm to Feast newsletter, and we invite you to come and take a look. So, you've seen how the hidden economy driven by sports can dwarf the daily operations of major restaurants. Which event surprised you the most? Which one should have been on this list but isn't? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. I hope you found value in this breakdown. We have a whole library of deep dives waiting for you. 2 of my top recommendations should appear on the screen right now. Click the one that grabs you, and let's continue the conversation. Thank you for watching Farm to Feast. I will see you on the next one.